What's up, y'all? I wanted to make this video because I dropped a video a couple weeks ago regarding women being led astray and being led astray specifically by men. And I wanted to make this video to add some context. I understand that sometimes when you put out messages like that, they can be misconstrued, especially if you're a woman saying this. Well, first off, I feel like a lot of people want to misunderstand me on purpose so they don't have to hear what I have to say. But it can be misconstrued, right? It can sound like, oh my gosh, she's telling women to rebel against men and whatever the case may be. And as somebody who is in the word herself, I even know that that's not biblical. I am not calling for women to come together and rise up against men. No, that's not biblical. But I also understand that sometimes you just need to add some context. And this is why I'm making this video, because I want to give y'all a scenario to kind of show y'all where I'm coming from and why I stand 10 toes down on a woman, on women knowing the word of Yah themselves. I stand on that fully. And I feel like a lot of women put a spiritual burden on men because women aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing. And a lot of this has to do with societal influence. We're taught, even in the church, to allow a man to lead. But it's almost like we allow men to lead, but we feel like we have no accountability on our end as well. And I don't believe in that. I also understand when the Bible says, wives, submit to your husbands. But if you're not a wife, you should not be submitting to no man. I am not a wife. So the only man I am in submission to is Yahuah himself. And if you are not a wife, you should not be submitting to no man. I'm just gonna keep it a stack. The Bible said wives, not girlfriends, not boyfriends. Wives, submit to your husbands. So anywho, I just wanted to give y'all this scenario because I promise it's gonna make sense. And I even wrote it in my journal today. So yeah, I'm just gonna jump into it. How do I start this? So imagine you going to work, right? You go to work every day, and the majority of people who drive to work, they have a specific route that they take every day. They don't even need to use the GPS. So you take a specific road to get to work, or a highway. You take a specific route to get to work. This route doesn't give you no hassle. There might be some traffic, but for the most part, it takes you point A, point B. You have no problems with this specific route. Now, you know a different route in the back of your head, and it would be wise for you to have a different route, just in case. But you usually don't take that route. You just take your the first route, because again, it's not giving you no hassle. But one day you wake up and come to find out that the route that you usually take is down for a couple months, some construction, right? So you can't take that route anymore. But guess what? You have wisdom. You have a different way that you can take to get to work. So you just take that way to get to work, and you get to work. Now, let's say you didn't have another way to get to work. You were unwise and you relied on that one route. And since that one route is shut down for the next couple of months, you don't know how to get to work. Right? So what do you do now? Now you do what everybody else does. You bust out the GPS. Because at first you didn't need the GPS. You just You knew the route the back of your hand. The route's not giving you no hassle. Ain't no problems. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But now that route that you typically take is down and you don't know any other way. So now you are forced to rely on the GPS. And you allow the GPS to tell you which routes you should take. And guess what? You and thousands and millions of other people, maybe not that many people going to work, but other people rely on the GPS to tell them how to get to that destination. Right? So I want you to think about that for a second. And you're probably like, what does this have to do with anything? I promise it's going to make sense. It is imperative before you get married that you, and this is for men too, but I'm talking directly to women, that you have a personal relationship with Yahuah himself. Not only you know him, but he needs to know you. Why is this? Because there is going to come a time in your marriage where something happens, and this something is called life. And your spiritual leader, your husband, is not going to be able to give you any spiritual advice, or he's going to be down for business. He's going to be going through depression. He's going to be frustrated at work, his family acting crazy, his money looking a little funny, whatever the case may be. He's not going to be all the way up here. He's not going to be able to be that spiritual, I guess, leader or backbone, because he is a human being at the end of the day. And last time I checked, human beings go through stuff. Lives. But if you built your personal relationship with Yah before y'all even got married, you have a different way to get to your husband, to get through to him. You intercede on his behalf. You don't go to your husband to get to Yah. You go a different way. You just go to Yah directly. You go another way. And the reason why you're able to go this other way is because you already knew another way. Does that make sense? A lot of women rely on that one route. They rely on their husband. And there's nothing wrong with that. If your husband is in submission to Yah, is Yahuah, your husband, and then the wife, which is you. That's how it's supposed to be. But what happens when it's Yahuah and your husband is acting funny, and then it's you? You typically go to your husband and your husband goes to Yah. What happens when you're unable to go to your husband? You're going to need to have a different way. That's where you having your personal relationship with Yah, that's why it's important for you to have that personal relationship with him. Because you can go to Yah direct. Women who don't have a personal relationship with Yah, they rely on the GPS. They rely on what everybody else is doing, which is using the GPS. And you want to know the thing about a GPS? Just a little side note, GPSs tell you the routes that they want to tell you. There are routes that a GPS is not going to tell you. Women who don't have their own personal relationship with Yah and rely on their husband to be that spiritual leader, and they don't have any personal relationship with Yah themselves, they have to rely on a GPS. They have to rely on what the world tells them that they should do. So check this out. Your husband acting a little funny, right? But you don't have a personal relationship with Yah either. So guess what? You turn to the world about how you should go about making your husband feel better. So that could mean, oh, well, girl, you need to cook more. You need to clean more. You need to have sex with him more. You need to pay more bill. Whatever the case may be, right? All these worldly things. That's what the world is telling you need to do to make your man happy. The world is telling you how to make your man happy. But if you had a personal relationship with Yah, Yah would tell you how to make him happy. And last time I checked, Yah knows your husband's heart. Yah knows that man's heart better than he knows his own heart. Your husband don't even know why he upset. He just upset. He don't even know why. If he don't know why, how he gonna tell you what the problem is? He don't even know. But you go directly to Yah because you have that personal relationship with him. You intercede. Isn't that the duty of a wife? Hey, I'm single. I don't know what I'm talking about. But I'm just saying. You don't need to use a GPS when you already have a different way to get to work. Your husband was usually was the reliable way, your favorite route to take. But right now he's out of commission. He's down for a couple months. The road is blocked off, so you're gonna have to take a different way. Either take a different way or rely on the GPS to tell you a different way. And the thing about the GPS is that everybody else relies on the GPS. That's what everybody else does. And the thing with the GPS is that it only tells you the routes it wants to tell you. Like, seriously, GPS is only tell you the routes that they want to tell you. It's a way to control people. I'm going to give you these 3 routes, and I'm going to tell everybody else and their mama the same 3 routes. But, anywho, I hope this is making sense. Hopefully I ain't confused nobody. It made sense to me. But that's what I wrote. Even in my journal, I was just saying how, like, you know, you building your personal relationship with Yah, especially before you are married, is vital. Me personally, I would never want to put a spiritual burden on my spouse, because at the end of the day, that's my responsibility. Let me tell y'all something, and I'm gonna wrap this up. When you say your vows and it says death do us part, there is an ending. You are married until death do you part. Once one of y'all passes away, that marriage covenant is over with. So what does that have to do with anything? Yah is not, y'all are one flesh when you're married, and then death do you part. You're your own individual again. And guess who Yah's going to judge you? Well, guess how Yah's going to judge you? Individually. Yah's going to judge your husband individually, and he's going to judge you individually. You cannot ride the coattails of your man and get into the kingdom, girl. You can't do that. So you should be building a relationship with Yah regardless. The same with men. That's taking accountability. You should not be relying, like I said before, and I will continue to say, relying on a man to tell you what's in the word of Yah. Why would you put your salvation in the hands of a man when Yah is asking you for a relationship directly? But anywho, y'all, I just wanted to mention that. Again, it made sense to me. Hopefully it makes sense to somebody else out there, but yeah.